East can do for you this week, please let us know. So I'll just explain the format. After some opening remarks from Commissioner Val Ackerman, Val will introduce the Big East Media Award winner. Then our John Fanta will announce the other awards: Scholar Athlete, Freshman, Coach, and Player. Afterwards, we're going to ask the winners to come up here for a group photo, and then there will be some informal availability among the media. So I'd like to introduce for some opening comments, Commissioner Val Ackerman. Val.
Thanks very much, John. Good afternoon, everybody. It is, some days for me anyway, hard to believe that 11 years have gone by since this proudly went back to its basketball roots in 2013 and set sail trying to keep alive the many successes that Big East basketball has had on the hardwood and preserving a proud history that includes this block of days every year in this basketball sanctuary. But here we are today. The Big East will be celebrating its 45th birthday on May 31. Mark your calendar. We're going strong, at least we think so. And I want to start out by publicly thanking our presidents, our athletics directors, who are the best in the business, their staffs, and our great coaches and players for what they do every day to persevere, they believe, they lead, and they succeed as the March of the Big East goes on. And I quote Commissioner Gavitt with that quote. The kinds of programs that we operate don't just happen. They require talent and focus, investment and sustained effort. And those ingredients and more have paid off for our schools, and they've paid off for the recipients of our awards today. John Fanta, as John Paquette noted, will be doing the honors momentarily. But I did want to offer my and the conference's personal congratulations to all of our award winners and let you know how proud we are that you all are associated with the Big East Conference. You are now an indelible part of our history. I want to especially thank our presidents for the countless ways that they support our schools, the conference, our student athletes in Big East basketball. I want to acknowledge our 42-year relationship and counting with Madison Square Garden and thank Joel Fisher and his team here for making these 4 days every March so incredibly special. The building, the history, the rivalries, and of course those magic moments on the court that happen every year, all of that is made for a winning formula that has withstood the test of time and made the Big East tournament at Madison Square Garden the best event of its kind in college basketball. This year's tournament is a sellout, and we know that the atmosphere and the competition are going to be as compelling as ever when action gets started later this afternoon. I also want to thank our colleagues at Fox Sports, Eric Shanks, Mark Silverman, Jordan Bizant, and their great team for our exceptional, now 11-year partnership and their continued outstanding support of our coaches, players, and schools. Before I get to the media award, I also want to recognize the Big East Conference staff. I think they're all mostly over here. I don't have my glasses on, I can't see them. But I can tell you they work tirelessly to support our schools and our basketball programs. I want to give a special shout out to our men's basketball brain trust, Dan Leibovitz, Vince Nicastro, Mike Coyne, John Paquette, and John Cow for what they do every single day to keep the Big East in the top tier of college sports. As many of you know, in 2019, after a 13-year gap, we brought back the annual Big East Media Award as our way of honoring print and electronic journalists who've made significant contributions to college basketball. I can tell you that we have the utmost regard for those of you who cover our games and are deeply grateful for the time and the energy that you all expend in telling our stories and keeping us visible to our fans. Our media award is named after legendary writer Jim O'Connell, who was a friend and respected colleague to many of us in the Big East, and the first recipient of the revived award posthumously in 2019. I'm very pleased to announce that this year's recipient is another great friend and respected colleague of the Big East, Tim Brando. Tim's connections to the Big East started nearly 40 years ago. Tim, I hope I have all these facts right. You can correct me if I get any of this wrong. I'm told in February of 1985, when ESPN discovered him while he was calling a St. John's Seton Hall game with Bill Raftery, who was, of course, last year's Big East Media Award winner. Tim was hired full-time by ESPN in 1986, and his subsequent versatility as a five-tool TV talent has set him apart from his peers. John? Tim has called not only college basketball and football, but the NFL, Major League Baseball, the NBA, the PGA, and a host of other sports. In fact, he holds an ESPN record that still stands today, calling 25 different sports between 1985 and 1994. Tim moved to Turner Sports in 1994, where he added the Atlanta Hawks and Braves to his resume, and in 1996, CBS hired him to call the NCAA basketball tournament, an assignment he held for 18 years. In 2014, after the new Big East came into being, Tim joined Fox Sports as a play-by-play announcer for college football and basketball. He and Gus Johnson were our lead Fox play-by-play announcers at our ill-fated tournament in 2020. Sorry about that cancellation, Tim. I think you were working that game. I'll tell you about that later. And he remains part of the Big East tournament talent stable to this day, as we know. So with 18 seasons at CBS, 9 at ESPN, 3 at Turner, and the past 10 at Fox Sports, Tim is coming up on the 40-year mark on sports network television this fall. A huge milestone, and one worth celebrating with today's award and the many other moments of recognition that we know will follow. As many of you know, Tim is a proud native of the state of Louisiana, and I'm told that my predecessor, Commissioner Gavitt, anointed him with the nickname Dixie. Is that true, Tim? Okay, Dixie. It's been an absolute privilege to have you in our midst these past 10 years. Our games are pretty exciting to begin with, and your calls only add to the enjoyment for our viewers. You're a gentleman, a true professional, and a master of your craft. Whenever I hear, "How do you do?" I think of you. Tim, simply put, thank you for everything you continue to do for us and for college basketball. It is my pleasure to present you with the 2024 Big East Media Award. Please come up and say a few words.
Thank you very, very much. Here we go.
Put that over there. The floor is yours.
Thank you, Val, and thank you, players and coaches, because it's your story that I get to tell that makes my job so much fun, and really be the envy of so many adult males in my age bracket. I don't know how many times I'm told, "Do you know you have the luckiest job on the face of the earth?" And the truth is, if you're not a player and you're not a coach, and you didn't want to be either one because you knew you weren't good enough, you needed to learn how to talk a good game because you knew you couldn't play a great game. And I knew that at a very early age. The calendar has always been good to me. I'm blessed to have had so many wonderful people pass through my life, throughout different intervals in my life. No, I couldn't really keep a job. I had to work at 4 different places over what will be 40 years beginning in the fall. But through that, relationships are built, and a number of boxes get checked to keep your career going. It all started for me when I was born to the family of Hub and Loretta Brando. My dad was a pioneer in television in my hometown, helped put 2 stations on the air. That's why I still live in Shreveport today. Home is where a runway is, if you're a broadcaster. And I married a hometown girl whose name ended in a vowel, and her Italian mom wanted her near and dear at home. And so after I spent nearly 4 years in Connecticut, I moved her back, and we've been there ever since, raising our 2 children, Tiffany and Tara, that are 41 and 33. And now we have 4 wonderful grandchildren between the ages of 3 and 7, which keep me busy during the spring and summer. After this tournament's over, or as we like to say up here in the East, tournament, after the tournament is over, that's something I had to learn to say when I got into the Big East. You know, down south it's tournament, but up here it's tournament. I had to learn quickly how to say that. But when I'm done with this, I'm chasing grandbabies and golf balls and getting ready for the start of the fall football season. But all of those treks that I took from the time I was working with my father in 1971 as a 14-year-old on a 1,000-watt radio station in Monroe, Louisiana, calling Neville High School football at age 14, to the time ESPN rang me up in December of '84 and asked me if I could do a game between Virginia and Duke on January 5th of 1985 with Dick Vitale, and then an opportunity to do a St. John's Seton Hall game a month later with the great Bill Raftery. I'd say I was blessed from the start at the national level. Even at CBS, during that 18-year run, I got a chance to work with the great Al McGuire. I mean, my life was seashells and balloons, just as the old Marquette coach would always have it. Billy Packer worked with me in the ACC. I did all those ACC championships for Raycom and Jefferson Pilot. Through my entire run at cable outlets and at the network, I continued to work those games as well, regionally. And the reason I did was because I loved it. The networks only worked on weekends. I wanted to do games on Tuesday. I wanted to do games on Thursday. I wanted to do games on Wednesday. And my memories of the Big East are vivid. I'll never forget Rowley getting thrown out of a game. And Mickey Crowley gets up to him and is reading him the riot act after he had thrown him out of the game, and Rowley started laughing. When the game was over, I went over to the Marriott Hotel right across from LaGuardia, where Dave Gavitt, God bless him and God rest his soul, was holding court with Mike Tranghese and a few others. Mickey came walking in a little bit later, and I said, "What did you say to Rowley to make him laugh?" And he said, "Well, he was on me because he said that Louis was cursing me before he was." And I said, "Well, of course he was." And he said, "Well, why didn't you throw him?" He says, "Nobody can understand Louis." That's the world and life I grew up in. And to come to college basketball in general in the mid-'80s, and to the Big East especially, was as big a deal as you could possibly have. Dave Anderson's son, the noted New York Times sports writer, Pulitzer Prize winner, his son Steve Anderson was a guard at Holy Cross and was my first producer at ESPN. He convinced Dave that this Southern boy knew enough about the history of Big East basketball after it had been formed in 1979 to give a quality broadcast. I thank Steve to this day. But I also want to thank, on the back end of my career, some guys that really matter even more. And those are the people that give you checks and balances in your life as a broadcaster. You know, when you're a type A and you're hustling and you're doing the best that you can, you hope that most people like you. But sometimes, because you are a personality and you are considered maybe bigger than life to a few people, you never know how what you're saying may land. The governor, Bill Raftery, at a very important time in my career, when I was leaving CBS and not sure where I was going to land, took me aside. Bill Raftery is not only worthy of this award twice, he's warranted to have sainthood at heaven, to St. Peter's Golden Gates, because he took me aside and he said, Timmy B, sometimes you try too hard. You just try too hard. Let it be. You're good. Stop trying so hard. Let it come to you. Now, that came over a few glasses of wine, as you might imagine, but it was certainly something that needed to sink in with me, and I absorbed it. And that helped me when I went to Fox. And Eric Shanks and everyone at Fox, they were a godsend to me. I cannot tell you what it meant at age 58. At age 58, very few executives are going to take a victory lap for hiring a guy. I'd already established myself. They couldn't say that I was their idea. I'd been around too long. But they wanted somebody, and they asked me, where do you see yourself in 10 years? Well, here I am 10 years later. I'm seeing myself in front of you, and I am really emotionally touched today. I'm going to be brief from this point on because I've got 5 games to call in the next 24 hours. But I didn't know that there would be anything past age 58 for about 9 months. And when Fox pulled the lever on me, they gave me new life, and they gave me an opportunity to have a career the likes of which Val was able to say to you today. Jim O'Connell was a wonderful man, tremendous scribe. Anything that has his name on it means the world to me. I was mentored by the great Kurt Gowdy, who in 1982 at the Final Four in New Orleans came on my radio show. And then when I told him I named my little brother after him, my brother's now deceased, but he's Kurt Lance Brando was named after Kurt Gowdy. He stayed in touch with me until the time I went to ESPN in 1985. And we at the NABC Champions Luncheon would get together at every Final Four from that point, from 1982, all the way until the time that he could no longer travel. So Mr. Gowdy, God bless you too for being the old cowboy from Wyoming that gave this guy with a southern twang a lot of wisdom, pearls of wisdom. Thanks to all of you for giving us the stories. I congratulate all of the players being honored today. All of you make my job magnificent. And I'm done talking about me, and now I'll specialize in talking about you, and you, and you, and you, because you've made my dream come true. Thank you.
Congratulations again to Tim. Tim, you are an inspiration to all of us broadcasters. You really are. Good afternoon, everybody. I'm John Fanta, and welcome to the best week of the year, the Big East Tournament at Madison Square Garden. Let's get to our honorees. We begin with the Big East Scholar Athlete of the Year award winner. This selection is made by the conference's Academic Affairs Committee. The honoree receives a $2,000 scholarship, which may be applied to graduate or professional studies. He compiled a 3.54 undergraduate grade point average as a finance major. As a grad student, his GPA is 3.80. He earned his undergraduate degree in 2023 in only 3 years and started his MBA work in the summer of 2023. He will complete his MBA this summer, completing the program in only 1 year. On the court, he's been a prime contributor to the Marquette Golden Eagles' success, including a 23-8 overall record, 14-6 Big East mark, a number 3 seed in the Big East tournament. He's a 6'11" forward from Chandler, Arizona, named to the All-Big East second team earlier this week. And when you think of matchup nightmares, and you think of guys that just cause problems to the opponent, this guy does it all for his team in a variety of ways, and he defines versatility. He does it in the classroom. He does it on the court. Ladies and gentlemen, the Big East Scholar Athlete of the Year is Marquette's Oso Ighodaro.
I just wanted to say thank you to all the people in my life that made this possible for me. Starting with my parents, my mom and dad, for always pushing me to be great on the floor and in the classroom. All my teammates and coaches over here, my best friends, for pushing me and having me have success on the floor. And the academic staff at Marquette, they've been great for us. All of us players are really grateful for them and all the help they give us. So I'm really appreciative for this award, and thank you guys.
And now we turn to our Big East Freshman of the Year. And the young man being honored this afternoon should come as no surprise to anyone, because he is the definition of an outstanding talent. He also left no doubt in the process. winning the Big East Freshman of the Week honor a conference record 11 times, including the last 7 weeks of this season. What stands out to me about this Freshman of the Year honoree is that he is a tremendous defender. He embraces being on an opposing team's perimeter score and locking them down. He enters this Big East tournament as well, having averaged 13 points per game over his last 8 contests on a team that has a pretty deep offense. He's really evolved on that offensive end as the year has gone on, and his 6'6", 215-pound frame makes him so tough to stop. His physicality is special. More than anything, a story from the preseason stands out. When I met this young man in stores in the preseason, I asked him about striving for his dream of reaching the NBA, like many players do. He responded, quote, "I'm relishing in the here and now, because when you're at Connecticut, there's a standard to live up to. I don't want to let that standard down, and I want to make myself known as that next great Husky." You've certainly done that. Ladies and gentlemen, the Big East Freshman of the Year is Stefan Castle.
First and foremost, I just want to thank God, for everything, just allowing me to play the game every day and, just waking me up in the morning every day and just blessing me with opportunities like this. And, to my coaches, to my teammates, I wish my guys were here with me right now, but, I appreciate you guys for pushing me every day, just believing in me. And, without y'all, I know that this wouldn't be possible. So I thank you guys. And, to my parents, my mom, my dad, my brother, my little sister, I thank you guys. The support that y'all bring to me, the confidence that I get from it, it means the world to me. And, I just want to thank you guys. Thank you.
Congratulations, Stefan. We are very excited to have a new sponsor for our Big East Coach of the Year Award, Invesco QQQ. Here with us today to help present this conference honor, please welcome the Senior Factor and Core Equity Strategist at Invesco, Ryan McCormick.
Good afternoon, everybody. My name is Ryan McCormick. I'm a Senior Factor and Core Equity Strategist at Invesco. And on behalf of Invesco QQQ, it's great to be here and an honor to be in front of all this talent in the room. Invesco QQQ is proud to sponsor the Big East Conference and this year's Men's and Women's Big East Coach of the Year Awards. We're grateful for the opportunity to recognize 2 of the conference's best, along with all the student athletes in the room. I grew up on Long Island and Queens, and I've been a Big East fan all my life. I've watched a lot of basketball at a lot of different levels, like tournaments, showcases, playoffs. And I can say with confidence that there is nothing like the Big East, and particularly the Big East tournament at the Garden. We believe the Big East is full of the next generation of innovators and leaders. And we couldn't be happier to be sponsoring the conference, and it just brings us a ton of joy. So with that, I want to offer congratulations. I want to wish everybody the best of luck this week and hopefully beyond. And thanks for your time.
Thank you, Ryan, and thank you, Invesco QQQ. From an assistant at St. Anthony High School in Jersey City to an assistant at Rutgers for 4 years, to taking over at St. Benedict's Prep and leading them to becoming one of the nation's best high school programs, to turning Wagner around from a 5-win season the year before he got there to a 25-win team in his second year in Staten Island, to 6 fantastic years at Rhode Island, in which he led the program to back-to-back NCAA tournaments and victories in each season, to getting this opportunity he has now. in stores, where he took over a proud program, but one that was coming off of a 14 and 18 season when he took the helm. What he's done over the last 6 years is nothing short of exceptional. Somehow, he managed to come off leading the Connecticut Huskies to the program's 5th national championship since 1999. And he's managed to be even better. 28-3 overall record after losing 5 rotation pieces from the national title team. And a Big East record this year, 18 conference victories. Throughout his journey, he has earned everything that he's gotten. And this year, they've not only avoided complacency, his program keeps on rising. And they're the regular season champions and the #1 seed this week. Ladies and gentlemen, your Big East Conference Coach of the Year, Dan Hurley of UConn.
All right, I got my thank yous. I got my thank yous first here. I'm the beneficiary of just growing up in, great families. My parents, 2 incredible parents, 2 incredible siblings, an older brother, who's my best friend, and then they passed me off to this incredible woman here, Andrea, my wife, and my 2 sons, Danny and Andrew. That type of just love and support I've had my whole life. With family, has made me into the person I am today. Dave Benedict and President Herbst took a chance on me 6 years ago, in our living room in Rhode Island, and offered us the opportunity to lead the program. So, that opportunity has changed, has changed all of our lives. The University of Connecticut, the commitment that they make to what we do, the resources they provide us with, to achieve the championships and excellence that, that we're currently succeeding at that level. Wouldn't do it without the university, the state, the incredible fan base that I know is brutal on Twitter with the other fan bases. And then, the Big East Conference, obviously Val and Dan have been, just great supporters of UConn and mine since our return to the conference. It's, UConn back in the Big East has been awesome for us, and it's been great for the Big East. It's the perfect partnership. So thank you for having us back. And obviously, it's a staff and team award. I've got an incredible coaching staff. I'm blessed with 3 head coach quality assistant coaches. Tom Moore, who was an incredible head coach at Quinnipiac. And then Kamani Young and Luke Murray are 2 of the best coaches in the country. Head coach, assistant coach, associate head coach, whatever the hell titles are these days. Those 2 guys are 2 of the best coaches in the country. So this award is obviously a reflection on them, and then a reflection of the players, man. We got incredible players that are talented, and all about winning, and they're coachable. And, they got it going right now. So, these type of awards are reflections of your team, the type of players you got, and the staff you got around you. And then the league is just straight, it's iron sharpens iron in this thing here, this Big East. I mean, you're talking about the best players in the country, some of the hardest places to play in the country, and then the best roster of coaches in the country. So this league right here, man, it's... there's no soft, you can't come in this thing if you're a soft-ass coach or a player, because this is iron sharpens iron in this league. So thank you, Big East, and this next couple of days is going to be something in New York.
Congratulations, Dan. And last but certainly not least, we turn to our Big East Player of the Year honor. In what was as challenging as any season that I've seen to just pick a singular player in this league, with a really fun race between several All-American candidates, the coaches made the determination that there was one player who rose above everyone. This player has averaged 19.4 points, 8.6 rebounds, and 3.6 assists per game. Let me put that into perspective for a moment. He is the only power conference player in the country to average at least 19 points, 8 rebounds, and 3.5 assists per game. But what he means to Friartown goes beyond his superb numbers. His work ethic is relentless. Seriously, out of all the players I've been around, this guy works as hard as anybody. He is a class act as well, and as a result, a real leader. When his team faced adversity this season, including the injury to another guy on his team that was an All-Big East first-team selection last year, he just picked up his production even more. In the last 17 games, he scored 24 points or more 8 times. In the last 2 games entering this tournament, the junior has combined for 48 points and 27 rebounds. Ridiculous figures. And while he has been a superstar and a great builder of culture in year 1 of the Kim English era, and as tough as they come, he's also become one of the biggest faces throughout the Providence College community. Ladies and gentlemen, I present to you the Big East Conference Player of the Year, the Friars' Devin Carter.
What's up, John? Good? Man, first and foremost, just want to say all glory to God. I thank God for putting me in this position, being in front of you guys today. So just start off with that. Coach Kim, ever since you came to Friartown, you promised me, just trust you and watch how far we go. And here we are today, standing in front of everybody, being voted Player of the Year. To the people that came from different cities all around, JoJo, D-Love, my girlfriend Naya, I just thank everybody here. I give credit to everybody, my teammates. They've been great. They have put a lot of trust in me. They give me the ball in open spots, and they're ride or die for me, and I'm the same with them. So it's just been great this year, and just looking forward to get some wins in the tournament. So go Friars.
Thanks and congratulations again to all of our winners. If we could ask the winners to come up with their trophies, and we'll take a group shot and then have some informal availability. And thank you for attending, everyone. Let's play some games now.
John, can you move this over? Yeah. All right, so he's in charge. Let me get in the middle here, because you guys are 2 and 2.
You guys can slide down. Right at me first. Thank you.
Why are you sitting like that? She's folded into her chair. It's only Wednesday.
Get her fired up.